What if I told you that Ireland's fight for independence wasn't won on a traditional battlefield, but in the shadows of a brutal guerrilla war? A war where small groups of Irish rebels took on one of the most powerful empires in history and won. The Anglo-Irish War, also known as the Irish War of Independence, 1919 to 1921, was a fierce struggle between the Irish Republican Army, IRA, and British forces. But this war didn't start overnight. Its roots go back centuries, fueled by British rule, land confiscations, and violent uprisings. The turning point came in 1916 with the Easter Rising in Dublin, a failed rebellion that ended in executions. But those executions backfired, sparking a wave of nationalism. By 1919, the fight for freedom had begun, not through traditional warfare, but through hit-and-run attacks, assassinations, and ambushes that would change Ireland forever. For centuries, Ireland was under British rule, with the Irish people facing land confiscations, economic hardship, and political oppression. But resistance was always there, from the 1798 rebellion to the Fenian movement of the 19th century. The real turning point came in 1916 with the Easter Rising in Dublin. Irish rebels seized key buildings and declared an Irish Republic. But after a week of fighting, British forces crushed the rebellion. The leaders, including Patrick Pearse and James Connolly, were swiftly executed, turning them into martyrs for the cause. Public outrage grew, and support for independence skyrocketed. In the 1918 general election, the pro-independence party, Sinn Féin, won a landslide victory. Instead of taking their seats in the British Parliament, they formed their own Irish government and declared independence. The British rejected this outright, setting the stage for war. The war officially began on January 21, 1919, with a deadly ambush at Solohead Beg, County Tipperary. Members of the newly formed Irish Republican Army, IRA, attacked a convoy carrying explosives, killing 2 Royal Irish Constabulary, RIC officers. Unlike previous uprisings, the Irish knew they couldn't defeat the British Army in open battle. Instead, under the leadership of Michael Collins, the IRA launched a guerrilla war using hit-and-run tactics, ambushes, and assassinations to target British forces. Collins, often called the Big Fella, masterminded a network of spies and informants, striking at the heart of British intelligence. His squad, a secret assassination unit, hunted down British agents, making it impossible for Britain to rule Ireland as before. In response, the British recruited the Black and Tans, a brutal paramilitary force known for their indiscriminate violence, reprisals, and civilian killings. Instead of crushing the rebellion, their actions only fueled Irish resistance. As the conflict escalated, no one was safe. Not British officials, not Irish civilians, and not even those caught in the middle. The war was entering its bloodiest phase. By 1920, the war had become a deadly cycle of ambushes, assassinations, and brutal reprisals. The British, desperate to regain control, deployed the Black and Tans and the auxiliaries, ruthless paramilitary forces known for their indiscriminate killings, arson, and terror tactics. One of the war's most infamous days was Bloody Sunday, November 21st, 1920. That morning, Michael Collins' squad executed 14 British intelligence agents in Dublin, effectively crippling Britain's spy network in Ireland. The British retaliated with horrific violence. That afternoon, British forces entered Croke Park Stadium, where a football match was being played. Without warning, they opened fire on the crowd, killing 14 civilians, including players and spectators. Across Ireland, towns and villages faced burnings and mass arrests as the British struggled to contain the IRA. But rather than break the Irish resistance, these violent crackdowns only strengthened support for the independence movement. By late 1920, it was clear Britain was losing control. The war was costing too much money, too many lives, and causing a political crisis in London. Both sides knew that a final decision was coming. By 1921, the British government was facing a harsh reality. Their forces couldn't fully defeat the IRA, and the war was becoming politically and financially unsustainable. Meanwhile, the IRA was exhausted, short on weapons, and struggling to keep up the fight. International pressure, especially from the United States, pushed Britain to seek a negotiated settlement. On July 11, 1921, a truce was declared, halting the violence and opening the door for peace talks. Behind closed doors, Michael Collins and Arthur Griffith led the Irish delegation in negotiations with British officials, including Prime Minister David Lloyd George. The Irish wanted full independence, but the British refused to let go of Ireland entirely. After months of tense discussions, a controversial deal was reached, the Anglo-Irish Treaty. It would change Ireland forever, but at a terrible cost. On December 6, 1921, the Anglo-Irish Treaty was signed, ending the war and establishing the Irish Free State as a self-governing dominion of the British Empire. However, Northern Ireland remained under British rule, creating a lasting division. For some, the treaty was a victory, a step toward full independence. For others, it was a betrayal, falling short of the republic they had fought for. Michael Collins defended it as the freedom to achieve freedom, but Eamon de Valera and anti-treaty forces rejected it, leading to the Irish Civil War, 1922 to 1923. Though the Anglo-Irish War ended, Ireland's struggle for unity had only begun. The Anglo-Irish War forced Britain to recognize Irish independence, but left the island divided, a reality that still fuels tensions today. Figures like Michael Collins became legends, and the war's guerrilla tactics influenced global revolutions. Yet the fight didn't truly end in 1921, as the Irish Civil War followed, and the question of a united Ireland remains. One thing is certain, the war proved that even the mightiest empire couldn't crush a determined people fighting for freedom. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more history deep dives.